So let's go from there. Uh, just off rip, running Widow Genji here is kind of tricky because once you hit that corner, if you don't have a pick already, if your Genji's not pressuring a support already, you don't have any sort of advantage. They have map advantage. They probably have shield advantage because they're playing from map advantage, and you're just in a bad position. So on this dive or like goats is what I usually like to run. I'm pretty sure you guys made it work though. Also, having a team that knows they're playing with a widow, and plays patient because of it helps a lot. Start a fight. Look, somebody should be calling their entire team comp. Whoever has the best sightline. So once you know it's Rein Diva versus Rein Zarya, you should be looking to aggressively push onto that high ground and take the fight up there together. You can leave one on card if you have to, but you just gotta win the fight. Rein Zarya should win against Rein Diva. The Widow will get sightlines while you're taking the fight up there. And if the healers go with the tanks, they won't die while they're creating that space. They end up dropping, so that's fine. I pointed this out in the other review. Grumpy should be looking to position like back here rather than up there. There's no reason for the Ana to be that far front. It's first fight, first game. I'm sure there's like first game jitters and stuff, so he's not at fault. It's just something to note. Oh, and there goes Bean. That's a good call, but right here, Mew. So you're walking out of a very small choke with your entire team. Every bit of damage the opposing team can possibly throw at you is going to be thrown at you. Not having your shield up here is very, very dangerous, and it leads to a lost fight. You see the Genji here, so I think you might have just like unintentionally tunnel vision a little bit and been like, hold on, I can get this Genji. But shielding right here is the ideal play because it lets your team get in, it lets you get the heals you need to stay there and then take the fight with the Genji. Because the Genji's orbed, he can survive through two of your swings. So it's not an easy kill. He can survive through like 4 swings with deflect, so yeah, and then they punish our aggression there. Essentially their Genji baited us in and they punished our aggression, which is what we should seek to be doing against them with our anti-nade and Widow. Great shot there. Go back a second and what happened there. So their diva dives Nat. I think the call, rather than help Nat there, should have been go full aggro. You got the 2 picks right here. Their Rhine's about to die. You win this fight. Nat's totally allowed to die here. Or even Bean or somebody can die in the backline to that diva. No problem. And we still win that fight. The faster we focus everybody up here, the quicker we get our fight win. The quicker we start getting that hard payload. Pulling back, you still eventually do win the fight, I'm pretty sure, but we lose Mars and his Dragon Blade there, which could have been super valuable if they did try to recon. So yeah, and that's also a little bit on Mars where he's 40 HP, he shouldn't be dashing in. Should be like, I'm still going, push with me, if he is still going. So he gets his Zen Orb or whatever. Not sure what we were running. I think it was Zen Ana. Oh no, Luciana. So yeah, Bean can get to him real quick if he needs the help. But it needs to be called out. So losing Mars there isn't optimal. In a one fight, that's the one thing I can nitpick about is we didn't get aggressive together at the right time. Wait, what? Good call. So at this point, understanding that they don't have a diva for their Rhine, we should be pushing aggression as soon as possible. Their diva's going to pressure Nat a lot of the time. Nat can get away from that, live, and the diva's out of the fight while we take a good 5-second to 7-second fight without an off tank present. So it's essentially a 5v5. A Rhine Zarya will win against the solo Rhine every time. So if we are against a Rhine diva as Rhine Zarya, that's something we should abuse. Rather than the conversation, hey, do you want to do this here? It should definitely be, we have Nanoblade here. Do they have trance? Focus on interactions rather than resources. The resources available should kind of be in the back of everybody's mind already. Like, hey, we just won a convincing team fight on first. We should have our DPS ult available. We should have our nano available. How are we looking to use them? Should be our main focus rather than do we want to use them? Because sitting on an ult for a fight or a fight and a half is never the best idea. Some ults are the exception, but if you have a nano blade available, that's your win condition next fight. So we should have been looking for that and setting that up there. What happened? Oh, that was nice by Mars. That was a good little fallback, but you could have pushed the aggression as soon as you got their Genji. You traded a Widow for a Genji there. The fight could have been... Oh, wait, where did you die? Alright. Yeah, I missed that. So yeah, never mind. Forget what I just said. That was a good soft reset. That was actually a perfect soft reset. Um, and it allows you to push in with great call by me in there. So those are the calls we want to focus on between fights. Recognize the ult economy, and recognize how we want to abuse it. You won that fight without using ultimates, just by aggressing together. Um, there wasn't a countdown, but a 3-2-1 speeding by the Lucio there could have made that engagement a lot cleaner and could have allowed you to follow up on the Genji's aggression. That's something we're gonna have to recognize and focus on in the coming practices and games. Is we will be playing with a Genji. Even when we're playing Rein Zarya, we have to focus on when we're diving in to support our Genji. Because Genji, just a few words on Genji as a character, like, his dash resets are the core of his kit. When he kills somebody and gets a fresh dash from that, that's another, oh, there goes my phone. That's another 50 damage that he can spit out in any given direction. So once we get that first kill, we can turn it into 3 kills or 4 kills really fucking fast. But we have to be there with our Genji to make that happen. So recognizing that, if we save our speed boost, if we save our bubbles, if we save our what's it called, our Ana grenade, we can make that engagement super fucking clean, super fast, and snowball off the Genji dash reset. Those dash resets are what makes Genji such a threat at the higher levels of play, because he can turn a 6v6 into a 6v3 really, really quick. We need to focus on that and abuse that to get full value out of Mars' capabilities on the game. And then in turn, doing so creates so much free space and opportunity for Nat that two-pronged attack will be borderline unstoppable for a lot of the teams in our division to even try to contend with. One note I did make on the flow feedback thing was Grumpy calls that they might try to contest it here. We have an infrasight available. As soon as we win that fight, we can pop the infrasight just to see what's up with the other team. Are they gonna touch? Where are they gonna touch from? Even the grab could be like, you could use the infrasight, see they're gonna try to touch from top, and then grab them up top so they can't touch. Neither of those is a wasted ult in my opinion, because you get second point out of it. You can build up ults and take third point with ults, but guaranteeing that second point cap is worth an ult or two if necessary. So that's something you can think about as Widow there, is like, usually your ult is kind of just like, let me see how I can personally get value out of it. But in those rare situations where we're close to capping a point and they might touch, the infrasight can help us look for those recontests. So Grumpy makes a great call there. I think he's playing the Ana here too, so that's an even better call, because playing an aggressive tank line, if they have a Winston, that bubble is so fucking disruptive if we have an Ana playing with our aggressive tank line. we lose our main healer effectively for 4 to 5 seconds while that bubbles up. Unless we focus it immediately and make it like a 1. So that call out is super valuable right there. Alright. Why does this trance happen? You think? I think that's a panic trance. I think that's I just got rezzed, I need to press Q. Because there's no good reason for that to come out, and I'm pretty sure that just gives us a free team fight win here. One thing I will note, Tessa's had grab for 3 fights, and we haven't seen it yet. He could have built another grab by now. And we could have won a fight and like kept our ult economy favorable in doing so. That goes back to what I was saying, is like, if you have the ults, look to use them in the following fight, because you'll build them again in between, no problem. When taking a fight, our goal is either to win the fight or take a fight that will allow us to build the ultimates that will win the next fight. Mars did call for their nano there. I don't know where it went or if it came out on him or not, but when I'm in the game though, that's something that I will be aggressively calling. Especially like I'll see Mars in the front line looking for like his first dash target. I'll call Nano Genji, Nano Genji, Nano Genji. So, understanding that Mars and Nat are more focused on mechanical stuff than callouts, we can take it upon ourselves to make those callouts for our supports. Or for like Mew, for example, if you see an opportunity for a big grab, you can tell me to grab so that Mars can blade. It doesn't always have to be at my discretion or at his discretion. It can be at the team's discretion. Can look, if we know those ults are available, we as a team can look for them. We don't have to put it on solely on the individual to look for that value. Great call there. um yeah. Yeah. Mars has great game sense. That's one thing, like when he was trying out for the team, I noticed as like playing McCree, he would play a frontline McCree, but he would like dip in and out super effectively, and that was one of the things. Alright, he knows his limitations, he knows exactly where and when to be to avoid or like participate in the damage. So about that fight, let's talk about why it worked so well. going back to, yeah, starting with Grumpy's call out, y'all started tracking cooldowns, started like calling focus targets. So right there, Bean's like, look for a grab. Great call out. We haven't used a grab till this point. We should have had like 3. That happens though. Zarya's players are very prone to just being like, I need to go for that 4-man grab. I need to go for that 6-man grab. So it does happen, but a lot of times you just want to go for that 2-man to help win the fight. Bean calls that. He's just like, look for a quick grab. Whatever you can get, just get a grab. Solo grab the Mercy. Mars makes a great solo play there, taking out the McCree and then following up on the Moira. You guys feed on point, which isn't necessary in my opinion, but does let you just clean up the fight without any worry. And you kill the D.Va and the Genji. And then later on in the fight, somebody calls the Slep Mercy, and it makes Mars have like the perfect Dragon Blade because he goes straight from the McCree that's right here to the Genji that's slept, or to the Mercy that slept right there. So you guys deal with the Winston as a team while the Genji's looking for the squishies. Genji pressure. So the Mercy was so pressured she couldn't heal these two on their way out. She had to just Valk and get her ass out there. Our Genji takes the attention of both their Moira and McCree, which allows the other 5 people on our team to kill their monkey no problem. Even through the Mercy Valk. I'm pretty sure Mercy dies shortly thereafter. And then the Moira realizes, shit, I gotta go to point, and the McCree does to Dragon Blade. Oh, the Moira just gets wrecked. Big calls, big coordination there. You guys played together, followed the right stuff, made because it's really easy in those trickle situations to like forget about that one Lucio that's lollygagging around the payload and stalling it. But you guys did a really good job cleanly following up targets. Alright. Alright, we're not gonna talk about that. Jesus Christ. So that's a really big call by Bean, and something we should recognize is they have dive. Ana, you should come with us. So as the Lucio, Bean saying, hey, if you're away from us, you're gonna get dove and isolated. Stay with the tank, stay with the Lucio. We just play as a unit, they can't do shit. Great call there from Grumpy. Yeah, you might need to refresh. Mars makes a huge call there that we should get used to making. When Winston uses jump against our comp, he's super free. Our Ryan starts swinging, we break the bubble and just focus him down. So Mars makes a call. We're a little slow to follow up on it, but the quicker we are to follow that, the easier it is to win the fights, because they lose their main tank, they lose their main means of splitting up our healers from us, so we just stay together and we win the fight when their Winston's dead. Mars doesn't call it, but he does a good job bodyguarding for Nat right there. He's like, hey, their Genji's gonna go for the flank on the Widow. Let me just go take the 1v1 and force him away from our Widow. It's really big, and it allows our Widow to only worry about the D.Va rather than the D.Va and the Genji. And again, because they sent their D.Va to high ground without their Winston, you guys just straight win the fight on the ground. Not even a close contest. This is something that mid-game, if we recognize and call, we can take advantage. That's why I try to point it out here. Not the best grab, not the best blade, but you use it to win the fight. No, I'm not saying that to like rag on them. Like, those happen where you get the solo blade or solo grab, but the fact that it ended up being on the Lucio and forcing the beat out, we get the value we needed out of that. And because the healer was isolated and focused by the Genji, the tanks had to peel for the Lucio, and we just win the fight because they aren't able to take the fight on their terms. Our grab still determines, our grab plus blade still determines how the fight goes, despite not getting immediate like huge value. So like that's why I always say, like, even if it's not the best ult, just throw that shit out there, get value. Any value is good value because your team will see it and take advantage. So it doesn't have to be the perfect play, it just has to be a good play. You don't have to shatter for Mew. One thing I love doing as a Reinhardt player, coming from console, was I used to always look for Zaryas that would aggressively bubble. If they aggressively bubble, they're getting solo shattered the moment their bubble goes away, because they're usually in front of their Rein shield. And especially in the GOATS matchup, the Zarya is the what is it? Thing that tips the scales. So if we eliminate the Zarya from a GOATS matchup, we just have the better comp at that point. Neither of y'all ran that much GOATS this scrim, which I was surprised. I don't know if y'all don't enjoy it as much as I enjoy running it, but I love playing GOATS. Good question by Grumpy, good answer by Bean. It's not bad conversation to be having, but also we should kind of, like, while that's happening, even, you can be looking at the tab screen and looking at what ults you have or don't have, and deciding how this fight should go. There were a few times throughout the scrim that, and this first game is going to take a lot longer than the next few games because I'm going to go in on like the very specific stuff that I won't have to worry about in the following games. There were a lot of times in the scrim that I noticed you were at an ult disadvantage that was easily discernible, but you still hard committed to a fight with ultimates and then still lost. Those are the fights that tilt you super hard. Those are the fights like, fuck, we should have won that shit. Why didn't we win that shit? Usually it's because they had the better ult pool available and you were meant to lose that fight. Sometimes you gotta recognize that and be like, hey, let them win this with Grav and Dragon. Let them win this with Grav and Blade. And we come back and contest. We have 20 meters. We have 25 meters. They don't immediately cap. We can afford to lose a fight. Telling your team and trusting your team to lose that fight on cart, not give them distance until the last possible second, and then recontest as 6 does a lot to kind of reset ult economy and swing games. I'm about to, but that was one of those where the beat isn't like, you don't lose sleep over wasting that beat there. That wasn't the worst beat to use because they did Blade. So the beat in response to the Blade is good because if immediately as you use that beat you get 2 or 3 response picks, you swing the fight. But after that beat, you guys died quickly and you died together, which was very, very good here, as we'll see in a second. Oh wow, they really chased you there, Nat. Holy hell. It was a little disorganized. You could have got there faster, but y'all made it work. Big fucking shatter on the Rhine. Big fucking deflect by Mars here. Oh, I lied. Oh, I think this is I think test. So let's see. So going back to what I said about Genji snowballing fights, if you have a Genji with or without Blade, you want your Ryan and your Genji to be alive when you grab. And I think I made a note to that effect in the flow feedback. It's very, very important to get that consistent damage going into the grab over the few seconds that it's active. Otherwise, it's just kind of like, oh, we used a support ult, we survived the grab, now we win the fight. So, once a Genji died, I don't agree with throwing ults in to try to swing the fight. Or did I say McCree? Once our Genji died to the McCree ult, we shouldn't have tried to swing it with ults. Wait, what did you say, Nat? Nat, are you muted again? Alright, that's pretty cool. I can't lie. Hey, but I love it. Like, sometimes you need that little lighthearted moment in a scrim to kind of ease everybody. That shit can get stressful. Wait, what? Solid soup? We're not getting it later. Oh, I hate this here. I actually hate this here. So why? So you guys are running Rein Zarya. They're running Rein Diva. The cart's back there right now. The fight's happening right here, and they get all of this for free. I don't like that at all. Yeah, I don't like that at all. If you like, I'm not against taking a fight at the corner, but if it's like we got all our troops, position up here, drop onto them from up there. Don't let them get all the way around the corner and start fighting them, because they get all the way. They get all the way around the corner before we actually touch. Ideally, the cart should be behind this bridge while we're taking this fight. Let's go back and see if there was a reset. But again, like, as a Reinhardt, and you're usually really, really good about this, but playing scared wastes your most valuable resource, your shield. Once you're holding that shield, you need to be telling your team, I'm going in, or we're going in, because that shield should 95% of the time be used to walk forward or to walk somewhere. So just holding that shield in open space doesn't provide much of anything, except like shielding right here when your team is back here. We should be shielding up here. Let our Widow sit back there. Let them try to push us while we're up top. Or recognizing that they're struggling to do so, we drop and we take a fight. This like 20 meters that they get for free is very yeah, all they have is a Diva and Genji fight you up there. You can send all 6 bodies up top. Especially since you're like not close to cart at this point, just send all 6 bodies up top, get a good look at the fight, the battlefield, decide where you want to put yourself. Yeah, you're kind of just like floating around in space without knowing. And we lose Nat and we break our shield into a shatter. That's pretty big, I can't lie. That's a huge individual play, but our goal as a team is to rely on those big individual plays as little as possible. Because, like, I love the pop-off play as much as the next guy, but having to rely on somebody going the fuck off every scrim or every game, we rely less on our fundamentals. We don't become better players most of the time, some of the time. So like as great as the pop-off plays are, I want us to be great all the time, not during scrims we should probably turn Mars and Nat both up to 200% because they both talk kinds of. Yeah, I think you already are. You just need a new mic. Mars though we should turn up because he does kind of speak softly, and him asking for heals there, like it's really hard to pick up in the middle of the fight with all the fight sound. Yeah, I didn't. So Mars looks at the tab screen here. We have Grav coming up and Nanoblade available, but nobody calls it. So that's one thing that I try to do as much as possible when I'm in the game that I noticed was missing when I wasn't available was just the tracking of ults and the win conditions per fight. That was a big beat. Bean dies, Mew dies. Smart play by Mars. Very good call by Mars there, actually. I love the call there, Nat. One thing you and Mars should feel free to do, especially as DPS players, you guys usually know better than we would. If you think a DPS would be better in a certain situation, let us know and let you know if something we think will work or not, and we'll probably make this and they're not. Because a lot of the time, and in previous VOD reviews, this is something we've noticed. A lot of the times we just don't think about it as tank players, as support players, because it's me, you, Bean, and Dank are usually the most vocal, and we're all either tanks or support. So if you guys do notice, like, hey, this DPS might be better, for sure, just let. Don't worry about it. Again, starts here, and it takes you a whole lot of time. Like, payload hits here, you guys got 6 alive. Not switching, so that's fine. You can let him at least push up a little bit, but should be taking the fight right here. The cart gets to, like, right here. The reason I call, like, the fight needs to be here is because if we lose a fight here, we get a second fight here, and then a third fight right at the end. If we don't take the fight there, we only get 2 fights. So the difference between taking 3 fights and 2 fights is pretty self-explanatory. That shit's super important. Your shield went down because you were kind of floating in open space, not pushing in. If you notice your shield going down, start asking yourself, am I not walking forward enough with the shield? It's an adjustment that can be made mid-game that is super impactful. Big blade. Yeah, that kind of set. Good grab blade. Let's go back and look. There's a post on Reddit recently that I wholeheartedly agree with. The tab screen is the most OP and underused tool in the game. This right here, and then this right here, give you so much information about the game that you can utilize, and players don't use it. They're running McCree Genji. They don't have a whole lot of shield break. Our Ryan can push in aggressively. In the shield war, we kill them before they can get value out of their Moira healing because we have anti-nade. That's what we should be telling ourselves between fights. Or at least 1 out of our 6 people should be thinking on that wavelength and conveying that mentality. Because it's all good and well to understand, like, hey, we use this ultimate fight, but we also have to understand how we win a fight while ultimates aren't on the table. Team comp versus. And running the Rein Zarya against the Rein Diva Genji, like, we have Rein Zarya Widow. We have so much more inherent pressure than they do. They should be more scared of us than we are of them, but we're playing in a way where they're just getting a lot of free. Good call outs, good fight win. Way to win that without you didn't invest too. Alright, yeah, that's fine. Shatter obviously is super hit or miss. Please don't do it, Mew. Um if we I'm here. I'm 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 composing my Anyways, Reinhardt Ultimate is one we can kind of throw out whenever we have it and hope to get value, because it's either going to win the fuck out of a fight or it's going to get kind of shit. Yeah, so, like, if you see one, take it. So that was really good ult economy wise. Allowed us to build our valuable ults while utilizing our Shatter is still super fucking strong. 180 Shatter when they Dragon Blade your support. Um so I love the conversation being had. It should have happened 5 seconds earlier, because this Ryan shield dies and no. That should have been a free fight win. Zarya's still on point. Zarya should be all up in that Reinhardt's face. Something like that. Um, we lost half our team. That grab shouldn't come. Well, in all fairness, the reason it goes halfway across the map is it comes out in with a grab. Should never happen. With most ultimates, should never happen. If you're using them in a panic, you're probably not getting optimal value. Wait till next fight. Use it in a better. Don't worry about it. You guys are in a really tough spot here. I don't necessarily like the hamster switch. Even as a hamster player here. May's fine. May's actually really good against the Diva. They have no Zarya bubbles. So a Mei wall on their Reinhardt should give us a free kill. But not if we're running Reinhardt Hammond. You guys acted in panic, and these picks were serviceable but not necessary. We could have kept on our comp and just straight up won. Yeah, so taking that fight with, even if Tess does want to switch, I think the Diva's a better switch than the Hammond there, just because the Matrix is and others. I'm pretty sure they're running Moira too. If they're ever running Moira, we should kind of try to always include a Diva, because yeah, eating. Defense matrixing the healing orbs is very valuable. Yep, and Mars got stunned out of. Unfortunate. Ooh, the juicy triple headshot. You might need to refer. So they have the Bastion. You guys recognize this and aggress onto payload accordingly, which is great. But in doing so, you lose track of Bastion. Not so great. Y'all killed the Rhine, but that Bastion's still alive. Good call, Mew. But you lose your main tank, and with spawn advantage. Oh yeah, I remember that. That last one. So if you don't end up misjudging the engage there, you get to wait with your team and touch at the left. Instead, you guys fucked. All good. Happen. Oh wow, it's already 11:30. We'll probably breeze through the next few. The encouraging words are nice, but specific callouts are more effective. Interesting point here. That fight was totally winnable, but the supercharger stays alive the whole time, which probably swings it in there. Because in terms of damage, that's a yeah, supercharger is very effective and very slept in terms of putting it in those terms, like letting people know like, hey, that's nano boost for everyone. It kind of lets them know like that's really fucking important to neutralize. Mars had an opportunity to there after killing the Orisa, but kind of left it there, and that probably because it was a 4v3 in our favor. And then all right, in that case, it's fine. Like, if there's reason for it, then it's. But if you have everyone available, like here, you do have everyone available. There's a call from Bean. Too much space. Love it. You're running around Diva. I don't like it, but that's a different discussion altogether. Um, got all laggy first. Um, Test killing their Moira there with bomb, which is probably just lucky because it didn't have fade. Uh, Pretty much kills our tank. Mars is sad because gold. Again, try to call their team comp top to bottom as possible. Let your team what they're doing, trying to do. Um, Saying Ryan Diva, Hanzo. The Hanzo did stay up top that whole fight. Ren missed a bunch of shots, so we got lucky. But if he hadn't, he could have gotten a couple of valuable picks that would turn this. Wow, Mars is just all over them up here. Him taking all that attention off you guys from top definitely helps win the fight on the ground. That was huge. Great call. Nat, if you have the EMP, just count it down and do it. Uh, Waiting around looking for the perfect EMP, you can allow them to get their ults off. If you have that combo available, you want to pull it off. Um, right here, I think is where the EMP should have hit. So it ends up working, but if you communicate that early, if you go 3-2-1 EMP, get a super free grab combo at the start of the fight. You don't have to deal with their trans, their high noon. You don't have to deal with a lot of the stuff that could have potential. Well, no, that's unfortunate. By the way, part of the reason that Moira was hard to kill, Test McQuiz was emoting in front of the payload. What we might end up doing, because it's all map, tomorrow we'll. Otherwise, I'll do myself. We could choose 10. I might be out from like 7 to 10:30. So if that's the case, like 10:30 would probably be what we do. All right, let's get. Good audible there, Mia. Good recognition that the comp's working. Writing it up. Yo, but way to keep your composure. Like I said the other day, sometimes we just. Um, one thing we didn't do with the Sombra, um, or with any comp, out their team comp, go in. If we hard engage without running, practice on Friday is gonna be really interesting. I'm hoping we get 6 people because we're gonna be forcing a no. It's gonna be probably just gonna be a quick play practice, but we're gonna be practicing a specific comp and hard forcing that comp every game. Yes. All right, hold on. Let me pause this real. So it's something that I saw the other night. There's an Orisa one trick that got top 10 on the leaderboard, and I was watching one of my favorite streamers who's like a main tank man who was playing with the Orisa one trick, helping him get top 10. This guy runs Ryan Zarya or Ryan Orisa because the Ryan gets super aggressive but has a safe shielded area to retreat to where his supports and his DPS. So if you're not running Ryan Zarya Orisa, you're running Ryan Bastion Orisa or Ryan May Orisa. And it's just so left field and crazy that teams struggle to deal with it. Games for free. So that's something I definitely want to try and see if our team can pull off and take advantage. Alright, let's see. We avoid the Mei wall, which is great here. Yeah, not in interest of talking trash here, but I've heard a lot of really good things about Lucifer's fucking Mei. I wasn't impressed in this. There were a lot of misplays and a lot of opportunities missed. where the May could have had so much more. If they do continue to be like, hey, Lucifer dope May, we can be like, hey, their May's bad. Let's take advantage of it. And I'm not saying that to be an asshole. It's a bad May. I'm just saying it to be like, sometimes people think they're better character than they are, and we can take advantage of that. So you don't end up you go in. Let's listen here. The bubble instantly breaks, and then you say you're going in. Somebody should call you back here, first of all. Second of all, the bubble instantly broke. You should be shielding the May freeze. You should not be going. It's a free kill for them. Bean frags out on the flank, but then gets recognized and assessed, and at this point, it's a lost fight. Oh. Weird. I like the Pharaoh swap here. Although Mars does play it a little more aggressively than he should versus their team comp. Did we use Slam there? Gotcha. We lose our main heals. We should call the reset there. So we're still fighting. The hog ult happened, and you probably pinned at this. But also, if our main heal dies, somebody should be calling reset. Good call by Grumpy. We gotta group up. We can't get out die. Very good. We have Nat on the tracer ready to touch. That's something you can communicate now. You can be like, hey, I'll touch last second. So nobody stresses or wastes cooldowns to get there. Mew makes an incredible individual play. Kills 4 people. The help of some people. Yeah. That's why I mentioned that it is a good idea to. I like the green friendly color. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't. Mine's light blue. So this is something we can take note of that we don't do. Look how quickly they group and speed to point. Organized, it's their Lucio dies, but the idea and execution is huge grab, huge barrage, huge pulse bomb. You guys pop off. You use 3 ults though, so they reset their ult economy. If you save the barrage, I think you're able to turn around next fight. You can trance and then barrage in trance and win that way. And at this point, nobody scouted that they probably had Blizzard. Oh yeah, so Bean. So I was wondering when I watched last night. Bean calls, "Hey, I'm gonna hold transfer grab." The trance should have come out as soon as that Blizzard hit. Because the Blizzard hits, there's a good like 2 to 3 second cushion, and then we lose Test and Mark. So if we trance that, we have a chance of living. And then we do desperation transit, but it's point. So this map is really simple to see what was done wrong. It happens 4 times, I think. Yeah. I'm asking you because you were in the channel while I was reviewing. So we have the wrong idea, they have the right idea. Our goal is to play from here. We can have a Widow where our Genji is right now, but the rest of our team be playing from the blue X. They set up on their blue X super efficiently. They understand how the map should be played with the comp. Kinda forget that want to fight on point, play the shield war, and fight for point control. In doing so, once we eventually decide to rotate to point, despite playing at an advantage initially, we are picked off on the way to point and taken advantage of there, and we thereafter. So we get 2 picks, and then we start walking to point, and that's when everything goes wrong. Sips T hooks are Zen. Mars has been in there for a while. Nat picks their hog, which is, but now their McCree has switched on to Hanzo and is back. Kills our Widow and then goes to the opposite high ground where he goes uncontested. Essentially, the boop on Mew is unfortunate there. Yep, but the fact that they get Orisa, Lucio, Mei, and then their Hanzo, they've kind of won it. The Mei functions as a third tank, more or less, in comp, because creates space and alters the battlefield. If you guys are fighting this on point the entire time, they don't get the early cap, and this fight still is. No, it's a good call. Because under that's no, because like you laugh at it, but that's actually great fucking game sense on your. You understand they have a Hanzo. You understand that there is a potential that you could just put your head around a corner and die. So you tell your DPS, hey, don't peek your head out. And he's like, oh shit, you're right. So, like, as much as it's something to laugh at, it's also something to note that, like, hey, that was a call. We've had the blade for around 30 seconds here. Calling. This time you guys do go to point. Lose Nat early. And we rotate back to the left side of point. What happened? So I was like a 200-hour Widow console. Hanzo has the hardest headbox to hit of any. I usually just go for the double body shot. Trying to hit headshots against. Um. Don't want to take that fight here. Be fighting the same. last fight, but rather than dropping brawl, as ultimate. Something to be noted. That May is fucking yourself is something could tilt your team. Better way to say that is the May is a problem. How do we do it? Yep. Somehow. Now you're running against Ryan Zarya McCree as a shrine. You're meant to lose point and no, you don't actually. Our Ana and Genji should be calling that way earlier. Ball point, fight May. Grumpy can start using LOS rather than I can't get to you, can't see you. It's a lot easier to say. Let them know you don't have line of sight. Okay. Okay, I don't like that at all. So, the why are you pushing up call here? There's Zarya just died. You're at an advantage here. And you're playing with Ryan triple healer. You guys want to fight at their door. Stop them walking in at all. So, playing around point doesn't favor your comp. Y'all made something out of nothing there and turned what should have been a bad blade into a great one by shattering everybody that was looking. That was a good. All right, so here, you guys started this map or this round of the map so fucking great, and then you lost faith in yourself. Kill the Rhine, you understand, just like turtle on point and chill is your win condition. You lose your Ana, which is unfortunate, but oh shit. Yeah. Good call on Mars back. That was dangerous. This is a comp that just wants to play right here. Play at the corner of the point. Yeah, also when I'm in, I'm always just yelling at everyone like play within the point, stay in the point, stay on the point, in the point, play around our main walls, like pretty much. So like but at the same time this is a good these last two scrims were a very good exercise in recognizing what callouts the team does need from me. So, if nothing, we can learn. That's a good call by Grumpy that we don't act upon. We should be fighting back a little bit and helping our Ana. A better team will recognize that the Ana is getting back at the same time as them and try to speed. Call. And they know the plan. And their hesitation leads to us. So because obviously Matt and Mars are both comp, when we have run this successfully, don't really. The moment we leave the point, they gain an advantage. When we're within the, we're at an advantage. So we always want to retain that advantage. Once you're inside this point, you're fighting on our terms. So the more we try to do that, you can, as May, you can even like queue up your ice wall to out there and just sitting back here with the team, looking so you can actually see, because they started looking. So yeah, the pin on Mars there is super fucking unfortunate because the Nat is compelled to follow up and try to punish the Rhine with, and then they nano their break point where we lost our rally. So at this point, it is a lost fight, and whether or not that's recognized, decides how our team. So we use Shatter and Beat. Not the worst ults to throw into a fight. Yeah, it happens. I don't like that call. Yeah. So you guys have this, have this, have this, have this. You guys have win conditions on board, but you doubt yourself. Go dive. Oh wait, no you don't. Try to make. Oh yeah, no. So reason being, if you listen to the comms, there's little to no communication on the end. No, I'm gonna look for grab. No, alright, I'll grab the blizzard. No, I'll try to Maywall something. No, like there's very little. It's just like let's get in, try to look for. Uh, Nobody's specifying anything. So the more specific we are walking in, the less confusing and hectic once we're in. If right here we're like I'll wall behind him, throw grab in, then we might only use grab because they counter grab and nano or played us. We're like, all right, no more. But because we blizzard first, our Zarya is compelled to throw the grab in after, and the fight becomes sloppy and fight tossing through. Alright, yeah. And it's not to say like that fight wasn't salvageable, but we should always aspire to have the mid to late fight. Most of the time, we have very little control over how that's gonna go. But the early fight, we have full power engagement, and that's what we on being specific about discussing between. No, no, and that's like that is something that we should address. That's not how somebody should talk to a team. Point it out and be like, hey, don't do that. You can repeat something as many times as you want. Do not get aggressive. Something that all of our heads, something a lot of us are good at, but if you struggle with something like patient with, you have to work on. Um, honestly, not even like the map's not bad for dive, but playing into Ana Break, playing into Zarya Hanzo, that dive's gonna get hard punished. Um, you guys set yourself the ideal switch, recognizing hey, them into them. Gun goats just hard wins. As much of a if playing dive here, dive the high ground and generate the high ground. Dive thrives on ice dealing with it. Patience makes a good. Is that Mars breathing his mic? Y'all hear that too? Um. So yeah, there's not much to be said about the end of that, other than the comp wasn't right for the job. Technically, practice is over. Play a little quick VOD review.